You guys know that you can go to our website, oneliferadio.com, to download and listen to our podcast and subscribe to our newsletter, or go to iHeartMedia.com to listen live, or download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to us from anywhere in the world. And, of course, a big shout out to our sponsors, great companies that bring this programming to you. Great companies like Sun Warrior. You can get it at Vitamin Shop or put it in your smoothie at Smoothie King. And, of course, Crazy Water. You can't beat it. It's got minerals in it. It's alkaline water naturally right here locally from Mineral Wells, Texas. And, of course, Paleo Magazine, the Wellbeing Journal, and the H-Hemp Company, which now it's the Honest Hemp Company, which was their original name all along, but they had to go to H-Hemp because there was a lot of confusion with this other brand that was named that. And so it's the Honest Hemp Company. We'll be getting it all out on our social media as well. And, of course, the International Society of Sports Nutrition. So always great to have you in studio, Jill Lane. Again, you can find her on Instagram at Team Fueling Champions. Today we're talking about food for thoughts, and it was a
Women's Health, right?
Women's Health article about the same meals that keep your body healthy might also create a calmer you. The best grub right this way. So let's talk about this. So what diets are they highlighting, and what are they saying the effects are on our mental health?
The two diets that they focus on in this particular article is one's called the DASH diet, and the DASH diet was basically put together to help people with hypertension, high blood pressure, get their blood pressure back in the normal ranges through food. Which, again, it's like let food be thy medicine. And then the other one is the Mediterranean diet, which, we've talked about on the show. They're similar in what they prescribe, basically. It's that you don't eat a lot of sugar. You don't eat a lot of fried foods. You eat the quote-unquote whole food style. You're not taking in a lot of foods that have added salt, but you can add healthy salts to your food. But it's, lots of green leafy vegetables, lots of fish, lots of healthy fats, lots of fiber, moderate amount of protein. And so those are the two that they focused on in this article.
Well, I have to say, I want to also mention our latest sponsor, Nature's Plate. It's plant-based meals to go. You made me think of it when we were talking about the sodium, because they do things really well, and you should check them out. Naturesplate.com. It's a great company. It really is. It's not just great for you; it's great for the earth. And I have to say, ever since I started eating their food, it's plant-based prepared meals to go. Mm-hmm. I'm just more satisfied. I'm more satisfied. I feel my body feels more nourished, and I just, it feels good to eat really well. It does, and it's better for your body, your mind, your spirit, everything.
Yeah, and don't you wish that you could just bottle that and give that to somebody for them to feel? Because I don't think people really understand how much better they can feel physically, mentally, and even spiritually until they feel it for themselves just by changing the food that they eat.
Yeah.
They reference it in here that people in a research study who followed this DASH diet or something similar to it were less likely to develop depression than those who didn't. And so I think we talk about it so much, and if it's the biggest thing people can take away from our show is that how you eat and what you eat matters to your health. Whether you have heart disease, cancer, neurological conditions, you're healing from something, some level of depression or anxiety. I know Craig could have talked forever about that, I'm sure, because he has some health-related stuff in all of his information, which I love.
Well, and you do, and you know what? I was thinking about Craig, too, because it's a perfect day. It's about planning, okay? Yeah. I don't have the time to cook like I want to. Thank goodness there are more restaurants opening like Nature's Plate, so it's a good decision for me. And it's funny because this is not supposed to be a promotion for them, but I can't help but naturally promote them because it makes sense. You have to manage your time. You have to manage your life. That includes what you eat. Yeah. And if you don't have time to prepare or grocery shop for all that food, this is a nice alternative for me.
Yeah, you need to have a plan B. That's what I call it in my business. If something falls through and you don't get to make that amazing dinner that you have in your refrigerator at home, you need to know where you can go. Have a plan B. Yeah. Where can I stop to get something that's going to nourish me, that I'm not going to feel bad about after I eat it, that's going to get me to the next thing I need to do that day. So it's about having a plan B. And sometimes businesses like that are your plan A, and that's great too, but always have a plan B.
Yeah, I'm trying to take this show to the next level. I am, and I don't have a wife. So To grocery shop and cook and all that stuff that women do, mostly women. And so my alternative is naturesplate.com, which is kind of funny because the founders, that's where it came from. They were businesswomen. They were corporate businesswomen, and they would do all their cooking for their family all in 1 week because it was important to them to have real good quality food, plant-based food. And then someone said, well, why don't you start a company? Where you work for yourself and you do what you're so passionate about. Yeah. That is the story of Nature's Plate.
Well, I don't think it's ironic that Craig said, of the 5 things, the 5 pillars for personal transformation, that the first thing was, regardless of it was business or his weight loss and health endeavors, was that you start to, every time you plan better, you get better outcomes. Mm-hmm. Again, it's just always having a plan B. And when it comes to mental health, whether we're talking about dementia or depression or anything in between, planning sometimes just is like, I'm going to write down blueberries on my shopping list and I'm going to buy blueberries because I know that they're good for my brain. And I'm going to eat those blueberries instead of the bowl of cereal at breakfast with my pastured eggs and some raw nuts. And it's just making incremental changes through small choices that take just a minute of planning. We don't have to upturn the whole apple cart overnight. You can't take an F diet to an A overnight. Our society kind of expects everything to happen so instantaneously, but every incremental change gives you something positive in the return. Yeah. Even if you just know that you check the box there, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, you can feel better, better about yourself even before you physically feel better. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. What are some good do's and don'ts, and what else can we do to improve our mental health with our nutrition?
Well, I think they cover some of the obvious stuff that we talk about on this show in this thing about what to not do. So don't eat a lot of fried foods, trans fats. Don't just live off, fast food meats. Don't consume too much sugar. I mean, they have a perfect example in here. They say the ecstasy you feel after eating a donut is a blood sugar spike. When insulin comes to shuttle the sugar out, you feel a crash. And for some people, that crash is depression. Mm-hmm. For some people, that crash is they just need to sit down anywhere where they are and fall asleep. And for some people, that crash is just, them kind of checking out at work, at school. This happens a lot with our kids at school and not being able to just focus. And so we can sometimes confuse that with having anxiety or depression when it's really a blood sugar issue. Yeah. It's from our food. And so, again, we spoke about this last week when we started on this topic. I don't want to erroneously put the message out that if someone really needs some tragedy care, they've had a tragedy in their family and they need like a medicine or something, a prescription for their mental health, temporarily to walk them through that, great. But be also paying attention to your food because it matters. And there's actually some research to show that people who were taking folate and an SSRI at the same time got better results. So you can eat your folate from your leafy greens, supplement with a methylated folate at the same time, and get the best of both worlds if you need it.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. I could just listen to you all day. I love talking about this. It's so important. And
food is powerful in the way that it makes you feel on both spectrums, horrible or amazing.
Absolutely.
And so just harness it, but do it in little bites, no pun intended. Again, don't think you have to go like full keto 100% tomorrow or full paleo or full vegan or whatever the label is you want to choose. Just instead of eating cereal tomorrow, have a couple of pastured eggs, have some berries, have a few raw nuts, have your coffee, and then the next day do it again and do it again and do it again, and then move on to the next meal.
And try to get up 15 minutes early every day so you can get some stuff done.
So you can cook those eggs. I mean, it might just be to cook the eggs, but that's okay.
It makes you feel like you're in control. Like, I got this. Seriously. And I was doing my gratitude while I made my bed, so I multitasked even doing that. That's typically what I do.
That's great.
I begin my day when I make my bed by being thankful that I can get up out of my bed.
Right?
And I can make my bed, and I'm fully alive in the world.
Love it.
And I'm full of energy because I ate really good.
True story.
It's a true story. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show. We always enjoy doing it, or at least most of the time. You get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it.